Alright, let's dive into something that's both mind-boggling and oddly relatable, the horseshoe crab. Now, if you're like me, you might have seen these guys in a documentary or maybe even on a beach and thought, what is that thing? But here's the kicker. They've been around for 445 million years. Yes, you heard that right. They're older than dinosaurs, older than most of the mountains we know today. And yet, they're still here, doing their thing. Personally, I think that's not just impressive, it's almost humbling. It makes you wonder what kind of resilience it takes to survive that long, especially when so many other species have come and gone. What makes this really interesting is how little they've changed over the millennia. I mean, they're called living fossils for a reason. Their Japanese name translates to helmet crab, which is spot on. They look like something straight out of a prehistoric armor exhibit. But here's where it gets weird. They're not even crabs. They're arthropods, more closely related to scorpions than crustaceans. That's like finding out your distant cousin is actually a celebrity. You're connected, but you're definitely not the same thing. In my opinion, this blurs the lines of how we categorize species and reminds us that nature doesn't always fit into our neat little boxes. Now, let's talk about their blood. It's blue. Yes, blue. And no, it's not just a cool party trick, it's copper-based, which is why it has that striking color. But what's even more fascinating is how we use it. Their blood is essential in the biomedical industry to test for toxins in vaccines. Think about that for a second. A creature that's been around since before the dinosaurs is now helping keep us healthy in the 21st century. If you take a step back and think about it, that's a pretty profound connection across time. It's like they're bridging the gap between the ancient world and ours. Another detail I find fascinating is their survival strategies. They've got 9 eyes, yes, 9, scattered across their bodies, and 6 pairs of legs, but only 5 are for walking. The last pair? They use it to crush food and shovel it into their mouths. It's like nature gave them a built-in multi-tool. And their tail, which looks like it could impale you, is actually harmless. It's just there to help them flip over if they get turned upside down. From my perspective, this shows how evolution doesn't always go for flashy adaptations sometimes. It's about practicality and efficiency. But here's where things get a bit concerning. Despite their incredible resilience, horseshoe crabs are facing new challenges because of us. Rising sea levels and coastal development are shrinking their habitats, particularly the sandy beaches where they spawn. One thing that immediately stands out is how vulnerable even the hardiest species can be when their environment changes too quickly. Professor Mark Botton, who's studied them for nearly 50 years, points out that they're good at finding small patches of habitat, but there's only so much they can do. This raises a deeper question. How much can we push these ancient survivors before they reach their limit? What many people don't realize is that horseshoe crabs aren't just quirky relics of the past, they're part of a larger ecosystem. Their eggs are a crucial food source for shorebirds, and their presence helps maintain the balance of coastal environments. If they decline, it's not just their loss, it's a ripple effect that could impact countless other species. Personally, I think this highlights how interconnected everything is, even when it's not immediately obvious. So, where does this leave us? Horseshoe crabs have survived mass extinctions, climate shifts, and now, the impact of humanity. But their future isn't guaranteed. What this really suggests is that even the most resilient species need our help sometimes. We can't just admire them from afar, we need to actively protect their habitats and ensure they have a place in our rapidly changing world. In my opinion, that's not just a responsibility, it's an opportunity to preserve a piece of Earth's history. As I wrap this up, I'm left with a thought. What can we learn from horseshoe crabs? They've thrived for millions of years by being adaptable, efficient, and tenacious. Maybe there's a lesson there for us as we navigate our own challenges. So, the next time you see one of these living fossils, take a moment to appreciate not just their strangeness, but their endurance. After all, they've been here far longer than us, and if we're lucky, they'll be here long after we're gone.